All right, so today I want to share with you an email that came in to me, more hocus pocus, believe in magic nonsense that people buy into. And this part's particularly concerning. Just because advice comes from someone who wears a lab coat or comes from someone sitting in an office behind the desk doesn't mean it's still not nonsense. So today I'm talking particularly about a particular naturopathic nonsense advice. So someone wrote me. They were concerned about a friend of theirs went to visit a naturopath who had them get a blood sample, and miraculously, she could determine through the blood sample that this person could no longer eat nuts, no longer eat dairy, no longer have coffee, no longer consume alcohol, no longer eat oats, no longer eat other sorts of grains, no longer eat specific kinds of fruits, and a list of other whole foods, including, of course, various nightshade vegetables or whatever kind of vegetables that she couldn't eat. Restriction, 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 restriction. No indication of food allergies, no indication of intolerance, just based on the blood sample, these were the kind of things that if she eliminate was going to lead to weight loss. Now, on top of this, this naturopathic doctor, of course, devised supplements to buy and something to reduce cortisol levels made out of dandelions and other naturopathic, hocus pocus remedies and that kind of thing. The initial blood test and the advice was over $600. And then, of course, there was going to be a supplement fee every month on top of that and office fees, etc., etc. Now, before people start telling me all about the benefits of naturopathic, yes, I don't believe in naturopathic. That's fine. I'm sure there's some out there that are really, really good. But like any other industry, including mine, there are others out there who are really, really bad and who just buy into internet hype. Now, in terms of taking a blood test and determining that she should eliminate all these healthy whole foods, well, the latest research debunks all of that. The Journal of American Medical Association, 2018, issue 319, specifically effect of low fat versus low carbohydrate diet on 12-month weight loss in overweight adults and the association with genotype pattern or insulin secretion. Genotype pattern in specific. What this study found was there's no basis in terms of following a diet based on DNA, blood tests, all these things. And I've lectured on this in the past as well. You'll find it in my other live lectures about the nonsense of DNA diet. This is particularly concerning when this stuff passes as knowledge, and all it is really about limiting more and more foods. So people want magic over common sense, and they'll pay a lot of money to hear magical stuff that's going to solve their issues. And something else you need to consider here, someone that's willing to consider cutting out an abundance of macronutrient foods that you need: nuts, dairy, coffee, alcohol, oats, assorted grains, various fruits, and certain other kinds of vegetables that limit your diet to a specific number of foods. That reflects people who have internalized the North American diet mentality, what I call the North American diet mentality madness, and they're more want to hear of what they can't eat than what they can eat. People with the North American diet mentality love the notion of increased restriction like this, more foods. They like the idea of focusing on foods on their can't have list rather than on foods on their can have list. Only this is not how our hardwiring of our brains evolved when it comes to food. Like most mammals, we seek food, want food, living in the world of food abundance. That's never going to work. But this caters to the North American diet mentality of focusing on what you can't have rather than what you can have. And no doubt for $600 and a monthly fee, this person will likely honeymoon on this diet for a while, but no way it'll be lifetime sustainable. And I seriously doubt she will keep weight off if she even loses much of it at all. So honeymoon period I've talked about before, but advice, just because it comes from someone in a lab coat or someone sitting in an office and just because they draw blood, research has disproven this kind of genotyping and all these things, DNA type, blood type, eat right for your blood type. This is all nonsense, and it doesn't matter the source. Remember, some people under the name doctor have advocated all kinds of wild nonsense in the past. So this is a naturopathic nonsense designed to make money, and it upsets me when I hear this stuff coming in all the time. And I wanted to point out to you that something that is that overly restrictive usually isn't going to work, and telling them it's based on blood test results is absolutely ludicrous. So check out that JAMA study, and you'll see the section on genotype and what they found about that, and other studies as well. And check out my previous live lecture on DNA diet nonsense, debunked, and you'll see all of that there. Very frustrating stuff, but people want further complication. They want to hide behind complication. Oh, the blood test revealed all these things. Well, no wonder I eat all these foods. No wonder I'm overweight. No wonder blah, 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 blah. The answer is not that complicated, and the further you bury your mind into restriction and can't have lists, the more likely you are to fail, especially when living in a world of abundance. So be careful. The North American diet mentality, 90% of people have it, and that makes it virtually in contradiction to the evolved human brain that we evolved to live with when it comes to food. We evolved our brains to want food and to seek food, and that's all in my book, Beyond Metabolism. So naturopathic nonsense, not saying there aren't some good naturopathic doctors out there, but this is utterly ridiculous. Stay tuned, I'll have more, and I'm sure there'll be many comments.